I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Say it louder!
I'm upset.
What's going on, guys? Bergs here from The Casual Athlete, and while I might not have a smile on my face as far as the Cowboys are concerned, it is another week of tipping, and that is what I love to bring you guys each and every week. We have round 3 up on the block this week, but if you haven't already, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We bring out so much content each and every week. Make sure that you download TBC Live to join in on all the fun in our tipping comps. They are raging at the moment, and people are in the running to win some great prizes, so download in the description below to make sure that you get your chance to get in on the action. And let's go through my tips from last week, guys, in our little review here. I did take the Dolphins after saying to you guys that I was going to take the Knights and I wasn't going to like it. I swapped halfway through the week. If you watch the video that I put out with Longy on Wednesday, I switched my tip from the Knights to the Dolphins, and it's a cardinal sin from me. I never change my tips. I always go on gut feeling, and I should not have changed it in that one. Manly not getting the win over in New Zealand was ridiculous for me. I don't know what went wrong for them. And the big one that I think everyone was not expecting this week, if you got on the Roosters, good on you. You saw it coming, and you might have been one of the only people in the world to do so. Massive outsiders, the Roosters were, and Panthers, they have had their streak ended against the Roosters after 2,022 days. I got on the Rabbitohs, and they only got home by 1 point, and that was the one of 2 tips that I got correct this week, followed by the Sharks, and then the Broncos losing down in Canberra. I may have misjudged the Broncos just a little bit. They seemed very soft on the defensive end in this game and really couldn't contend with that Raiders forward pack, and no doubt Payne Haas was trying everything that he could, but the Broncos, as far as a team is concerned, didn't bring everything to the table. Parramatta, I don't know why I tipped them, probably shouldn't have, and they look like easily the worst team in the competition right now. And the Titans, possibly not the best tip in my opinion, especially out of Belmore. Should have maybe paid more attention to where the game was being played. But you win some, you lose some. That is how tipping goes. Guys, 2 out of 8, not happy with that at all. I know a lot of people that had a very bad week of tipping this week, though, so hopefully you got more than I did, possibly 4, maybe even 6. If you got 8 out of 8, please let me know down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear about it. But guys, let's get into round 3 tips. There are some absolutely fantastic games that I am looking forward to. Let's talk about them. The first game of the round this week will be taking place down at Amy Park, where the fresh off the bye Storm will be taking on the reeling Penrith Panthers, who have not beaten the Storm at Amy Park since 2018. This Panthers side, let's just talk about them. Last week, absolutely abysmal. They are terrible when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, not something that they are known for. Normally, their style is built on their defense and how they push teams back, and they absolutely suffocate you. That did not happen on the weekend against the Roosters. They were ran through like they were hot knife through butter type stuff. The Roosters came up with great attacking plays and really stretched this Penrith defense. And the Storm, they have the ability to attack them, and the Storm have all the motivation in the world to go out there and beat this Penrith side. And it's really interesting for me because the Storm, they get 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and it's the team that they are most looking forward to beating this season. They're the team that beat them in the grand final last year. It's a grand final rematch, as we all know, and Big Nelson comes back into the fold this week. I just don't know if I can see a way out for the Panthers. They're going to be missing Dylan Edwards as well. That's huge for them. I know Laurie is a very good player, but I just really think that they won't be able to handle this Storm pack at the moment. They've now got Utoikamanu, Nelson will be coming back. Those are some big boys. And for Penrith, they've lost a little bit in the middle, although both of these teams are so good off the back of losses, and Nathan Cleary is still there for the Panthers. I'm going to tip them to bounce back in this one. It's a risky one, but I think that the Panthers will get it done, and they can find a way against this Storm side. 1-12. The first of our Friday night games takes us to Allianz, where the Roosters will be taking on the Warriors. Now, the Warriors haven't beaten the Roosters point blank since 2018, and the Roosters get some big ins back this week. They get Lindsay Collins back. They get Spencer Leniu back from suspension, and possibly Victor Radley comes back into the fold. And what a week it was for them last week, ending a 10-game losing streak against the Panthers. That has got to make you feel good no matter what team that you are and what questions have been said about this Roosters side. Robbo did a fantastic job of spreading the attack. Teddy was finding gaps. Sandon Smith was outstanding in this game. And Mark Nawaqanitawase absolutely took his opportunities that were thrown his way. He looks like he could be a set and forget player for the future. Don't know how Billy Smith is going to get back into this team with guys like Robert Toya and Mark Nawaqanitawase absolutely killing it right now. But they do have a Warriors side up this week who had a great win against a Manly Sea Eagles side who dominated the Cowboys in round one. And Metcalf really stood up. He grabbed a try, 2 try assists. If this is the kind of Metcalf play that we're going to be used to seeing, boy, some other teams are really going to find him tough to handle. And I really thought that Fisher Harris and Barnett kind of got into a rhythm together. It takes a while to form halves duos, as we know, and edge duos. It may take a while to form prop duos. Some of these guys don't know how to play with each other in the side, and Fisher Harris and Barnett, they look to figure it out a little bit more. And the powerful duo, another duo that I'm going to talk about for the Warriors, Taintua Picky, 9 tackle breaks in this game against Manly on the weekend. And then we had Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the other side, and those two are phenomenal wingers. They're both fullbacks originally, but having them on the wing is such a luxury for this team. They have 3 fullbacks at the back bringing it up. Man, they could be tough to handle. But I think the Roosters, with their ins this week, they definitely need some stability in the middle rotation, and they will get that back with Spencer Leniu and Collins coming back into the side. I just feel like the Roosters are prepped and they are ready. Let's go, the Roosters, to get this one done, 1-12. I wish I didn't have to talk about this one, but I will. The Broncos will be taking on the Cowboys in our second Friday night game at Suncorp. Now, the Broncos have not lost to the Cowboys since 2022. Gone are the close fixtures of yesteryear, where we used to have every game decided by 1 point. This is a rivalry game, but it's lost its sting in recent years, where the Cowboys just can't compete with the Broncos in any way, shape, or form. And you've got to say that it looks like it will be that way again in this one. The Haas-Carrigan combination will be very tough to deal with for this Cowboys undersized, under-talented middle rotation. And last week, I saw McIntyre really giving it a crack, but outside of that, it wasn't looking great. Even Cotter got really, really subdued last week by the Sharks, and it's another big forward pack, and we're probably going to make the Broncos look better than they are once again. But I just don't love the start of the season here for the Cowboys, and I'm afraid that if we lose this game, then Todd Payton may get impatient and he'll just ditch Tom Duffy. I think we need to keep giving him some time. Like it takes a while for a rookie to actually be good, especially at the halfback position. I'm not going to sit here and blame a lot of things on Tom Duffy, because our middles, I want to say we maybe have the worst middle rotation in the competition. Like it's just, there's no star power outside of Cotter. There's no go forward. There's no breaking tackle ability. There's no offloads. There's no second phase play. Like it's so stagnant. And so I can't even describe, to tell you the truth. I'm actually running out of superlatives to describe how badly I feel about this middle rotation for the Cowboys. And Scotty Drinkwater, yeah, look, I love the consolation try at the end of the game, but can you do that when we're actually in the game? I mean, it's nice to see, but like, mate, seriously, we need you at a different time other than like the 70th minute when we're already out of the game. Anyway, I'm going to go Broncos in this one, 13 plus. Saturday afternoon, we're out at Shark Park for the first game on Super Saturday, where the Sharks will be taking on the Rabbitohs. Now, fixtures between these two teams used to be very close, but the Sharks have had the wood on the Rabbitohs in the last 3 games, winning all 3. And I do think this is possibly where the gravy train ends for the Rabbitohs to start the season here. They've won one game by 2 points, one game by 1 point. The next logical step is to lose a game, and the Sharks have the capacity to beat them hands down. They have a great forward pack led by Adam Fanua-Blake. They've got a superb halves pairing in Trindle and Hines. Hines having a bit of a groin injury, possibly the reason why he, may not be as involved as people would like him to be, but he started kicking goals on the weekend. I think that he needs to give that job back to Trindle. Trindle seems to be a bit better at it. I know Hines probably wants to do it, but just give it to Trindle. He's probably just as good, if not better. I think the Sharks bided their time on the weekend. They knew that they could have scored at any point in time against the Cowboys. This Rabbitoh side, a little bit different. They have some better defensive structure, and I even think with their outs, they will make this game very competitive. Mama Zealous was great the other day, and Jamie Humphries. Lewis Dodd is now out with a calf injury, and that can only mean more time for Jamie Humphries to prove that the number 7 jersey can be his. And in my opinion, he is grabbing it with both hands right now. Iced the game last week with a field goal. Who knew he had a field goal in him? He just keeps coming out with these tricks out of the bag. No doubt he will probably come up with a few in this game, but will it be enough to beat this Sharks team, who I consider to be a top 4 side? I don't think so. I do think the Sharks get a win, especially in front of their home fans down at Shark Park. Sharks, 1-12. Dolphins versus Tigers is our next game on Super Saturday, and between these two teams, I do not know who to pick right now. I am not convinced by either of these two sides. I know the Titans got a win last week, but how much credit do you give it considering how bad the Eels have been to start this season? And for the Dolphins, they've narrowly missed out in round 1, and then last week they were just lackluster. They really didn't offer anything. They didn't compete on any bombs as well in Newcastle. And I think maybe back at home for their first game at home for the season, they might be a bit of a better side. They also get a bit healthier. They get Fini Fuiaki back. They get Bostock back. And that definitely adds a bit more spark to their side. Cody Nikorima and Katoa, I thought when they decided to run the ball more the other night, they found success. Katoa burst through the line and laid on a nice try for Mark Nichols. I need to see more of that from him. I'm not getting it right now. He's in his 3rd year of NRL right now, and it's one thing that you really want him to develop, taking the line on, and occasionally you'll pop through. But will he do it more often? We'll have to wait and see. But I am going to tip them this week, the Dolphins. I'm a bit shaky considering I switched my tip to them last week, but I'm going to back them in against the Tigers, 1-12. The second Saturday game goes up to the Gold Coast, where the Titans will be taking on the Knights. And a very interesting stat I'd like to point out for this one, 13 out of the last 14 games played between these two teams has been won by the home team. And for the Titans, last week, I thought it was a little clunky. It was like they were starting the season 1 week back from everyone else, and they basically had to go up against the Dogs, who were a very impressive side in round 1, especially with their line speed, and they choked them really early in that first half and just didn't give them many chances to go and run with the ball, which is something that this Titan side needs to do in order to be successful. They need to have open space. They need to have those holes for them to be able to exploit, and they didn't really get that until there was a bit of fatigue into the game. For the Knights, Kalen Ponga upped his touches by 1,000-fold against the Dolphins on Thursday night. I thought he was outstanding. It's possibly one of the best Ponga-dominated games I may have ever seen. He was in everything. It was really hard to not give him man of the match in this game. And sometimes he gets man of the match purely because there's no one else on his team to steal points from him. But man, you had to give it to him in this one. I think every time he touched the ball, he made something happen. He was always looking, planning, and probing. And I think in the press conference, he was asked whether he was happy to be there. I mean, do I think he might sign with the Roosters? Probably. But, right now, I think he is exactly playing the kind of football that the Knights need him to play. And if they're going to be successful, he's going to be a big part of it. And Fletcher Sharp is such a young, talented player, and he can only get better learning from a guy like Kalen Ponga, especially if, Kalen Ponga leaves. Fletcher Sharp is obviously the guy I would put at fullback. But right now, the Knights look fantastic. But I'm going to back the Titans in this game. I think they've learned from their mistake last week. They have a big forward pack, and the Knights are going to be without Kai Paul after a suspension as well. So it's going to be really interesting for the Knights to see how they back up. But I'm going to go the Titans here, 1-12. The Eels take on the Dogs for our first game on Sunday, and I'm going to go the Dogs, 13+. Next. All right. Jokes aside, in all seriousness, I do think the Eels have a chance to beat the Dogs in this week's game. That's right. I am not making things up. I do think the Eels could potentially beat the Dogs this week, especially if they don't have Burton or Kickow. That really changes the Dogs' attack for me. Burton is so good with the boot as well, so Sexton is going to have to step up. And I'm really interested to see who they replace Burton with, whether it be Mitchell Woods. Does he get in and have a shot? Young kid, spoken about quite a lot. A rookie that we had on our rookies video could pop off, depending if they put him in. And for the Eels, surely they get a response. Like, how bad can you be so many weeks in a row without responding? It might be a matter of when are this Eels team going to get off the mark this year? It's looking truly embarrassing right now, and no doubt Lomax and guys like that are really regretting their decision to go there at this point in time. Like, it's not healthy for anyone, and I don't know how they're not bigger outsiders than the Rabbitohs right now. But yeah, the Eels, I cannot tip them at all. And you know what? If they win, I'm happy to get this one wrong, because they've shown me no inkling as to why I should give them my tip again. I've tipped them once already this season. I'm not doing it again. Dogs, 13+. The last game of round 3 is the Seagulls taking on the Raiders, and these teams have had some absolute bangers in the past. I can't wait to see what the matchup is going to be like on Sunday. And early on, it is not looking good for the Manly Seagulls. We had Tom Turbo go off the field last week. We had DCE go down with some back spasms. And how often does DCE get injured? It is almost never that happens. And the Raiders, are they a top 8 team? I think a lot of people would say yes right now. I think the question that most people need to be asking is, are they potentially a top 4 team? Because the way they are playing right now, it is lights out. Say goodbye, because they are dominating games against teams that, you know, have bigger forward packs or more experienced forward packs, and they play as a team and they give a shit. They put in all the effort possible to get their team over the line. And Fogarty, for me, is a master with the boot. So good at manipulating the game, especially when his team is in a little bit of trouble with the boot. I mean, he brings such a touch of class to their team that without him, I don't know how well they would be going. And he is up for contract this year. And with guys like Dylan Brown signing big deals, I can understand why Jamal Fogarty hasn't put pen to paper yet. He could be in for a massive payday. But if, as far as the tip is concerned for this game, if Turbo and DCE are out, I am 100% on the Raiders. I think they go down to Four Pines Park, or come up to Four Pines Park, and kick the shit out of Manly. Manly last week were a bit embarrassing. No doubt they'll want to fix that up, but without their 2 most potent attacking stars in the side and some thin options on the bench in reserve grade, like Jake Arthur, they don't have Jamie Humphries there anymore. They let him go. I don't really see how Manly can win this game. Let's go the Raiders, 1-12. So that's it for our tipping video this week, guys. Let me know your tips down in the comment section below, and please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We bring out so much content each and every week. Also, download the TBC Live app. The link is in the description below. I've been Bergs, and I'll catch you on the next one.